It was the night before Christmas. And all through the house, everyone said, "Shut up, Phil. You're talking rubbish again." Happy pre-Yule, everyone. And welcome to the Dark Orb. And everyone is muted apart from me.
Hello.
We're here.
Hello. Happy Christmas. Happy Yule. Happy solstice.
Happy Yule.
It's
Happy
not
everything.
pre-Yule. It's Christmas Eve. That's what it should be.
Yeah,
Or for Christmas Eve or something.
absolutely.
Follow
All of
the
this stuff.
Swedish model.
So first of all, I should just say thank you to Joel for our Swedish care package. I am drinking my first homemade glögg, which is like a Swedish mulled wine. Not sure we chose the right bottle for it, but it's very tasty anyway. Very, very tasty. And hopefully we got most of the alcohol out. But I doubt
Is it much different from what we'd kind of recognize as mulled wine, or is it kind of pretty much the same?
The label was all
different
in foreign,
spices?
so I can't really tell you.
Yeah.
There was, I think, raisins, cardamoms, orange peel, cinnamon cloves, possibly. So very similar.
Cinnamon rolls, and cloves. Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
But the proportions, I think, are slightly different. Curiously, and I thought this was really interesting, because in the UK, we kind of mix around what we do in terms of volumes of measurement and SI units. And the recipe in Swedish, and Joel prepped me on this, is that you put in your bottle of wine. Hey, Zach, good to see you. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, how's it
Nice
going?
to see one of us put the effort in.
Andy's got a background.
Yeah, no, I've got nothing. All of my Christmas decks are inaccessible right now because we're obviously failing to move house. Yeah, so you put your bottle of wine in, you put the spices in, and then you put in a deciliter of sugar, which really confused me.
Yeah.
A deciliter of sugar, which is
You've got to be
100
careful.
milliliters of sugar.
Right.
You've got to be careful. It's not a deciliter or a decaliter.
Yeah, absolutely. Little.
Might have different results.
We all want the little D, didn't you? Didn't you know this? Yeah, so it was just a bit confusing because I think if it was an English recipe, a recipe from the UK, it probably would have been done in grams for sugar. Not that it matters.
Fluid ounces, maybe. Who knows?
For sugar? I don't know.
Well, you said decaliter. I mean, litres normally volume, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm guessing wildly here.
Since it's caused to sugar, the volume of it is not the weight of it compared to the volume is quite logarithmical. Consistent. So it's easier for people to use a measuring cup than a scale.
Which, of course, is the traditional measuring method, and it's what's used in American recipes. But in the UK, we've kind of moved away from that for a lot of things. Now, I haven't looked at traditional mulled wine recipes in the UK, and it may well be that that's how they are. I have no idea.
I've been going there's this company called Sea Cider. I found them. They were on like one of those cider companies that do like the boxes of like cider that just go on the back shelf in the pub. And I had this one, it was like raspberry ripple one time. I was like, that's delicious. And then I Googled it and lo and behold, just anyone can order this stuff. You don't have to like be a pub or something. So during Christmas, I got like a 20-liter box of this raspberry ripple. And then every year since then, I've just been like going, and they do like festive ones as well. This year we got gingerbread shortcake one. And it's so good warm. Like you just chuck it in the microwave for like 2 minutes and oh mate, it's so good. Some warm cider.
Okay.
Like I guess kind of mulled cider, right?
I do love cider. Yeah, mulled cider is amazing. Very quickly, just want to say hello to those who are watching live. Please, if you're watching, say hi in the live chat. Live chat works better through YouTube or Twitch, just so you know. So if you're sending messages on Facebook, they don't always come through. But hello anyway, and especially hello to Jason and to Bruce, who have said, let's have a look. Howdy, folks. Ho, 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 everyone. And having a cup of tea in my dark orb mug and having my festive Gremlins cardigan on. I've seen that cardigan. It's freaking amazing. I love it. Really, really quite jealous.
Is he, Bruce? Are you sitting there painting figures? That's the question we need to know.
I'm sure
is he clearing his backlog?
I don't know. He's had a punch in the arm from the old Royal Navy today. So, for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, we're discussing this on Discord earlier. Please feel free to join our Discord. We're all talking about getting the booster shot, basically. Oh my God,
Hey.
So Bruce got his booster shot today. So maybe he's not got the strength now to lift those miniatures. It is a debilitating thing.
He hasn't got the strength to type now. I mean,
No.
A lot of people have been saying that booster shot hurt. I was fine.
My arm is
mine hurt.
hurting and I'm exhausted, but I was also feeling a little bit ropey beforehand, but I just didn't tell them.
But you did got the booster in the UK. Is this your first of the Moderna vaccine?
For some people,
Yeah,
yes.
it was for me, yeah.
Yeah, I got Moderna as number 1 and number 2. The first time I got it, damn, my arm hurt. I wasn't sick or anything, but I was so tender in the arm that it was ridiculous.
Yeah. It's not been fun. My first 2 were AstraZeneca, and I just got a migraine for like a week after the first one. Second one was fine. This one, my arm is really painful. It's only a half dose because the boosters for Moderna in the UK, a lot of them are only doing a half dose.
They're watering it down.
Well,
with
polyethylene glycol. But I think they're doing that because the side effects are quite strong, but also they've proven that the efficacy is still very, very high, even if you only have a half dose with the Moderna.
And congratulations on saying efficacy, by the way. Very well done.
The effects being quite strong as well. The last thing you want to do is give an Englishman another fucking reason to complain as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, you're well on your way to becoming English with you.
I mean, I'm going to be a citizen as of I'm going to put my stuff in for the 30th of December. So yeah.
Wow. Okay, so we've got a couple of days.
Welcome.
We've got a couple of days to prevent that then.
Yeah.
One of us.
Well, I mean, look, it's not even a couple of days. Like, Pretty Patel can take my passport anytime I want because I've got my.
But she can do that with the Brits as well. She can just throw us out, and then we've got no citizenship whatsoever. Do you have to
have a lottery, don't they? Just decide who stays and who goes.
I'm not sure who the winner is. Zach, are you going to have to do like a bunch of naturalization questions? Have you done those already? Or
no, I already done those. They're stupid as hell. Yeah.
Are they things like who is the queen?
No, it's more ridiculous things like what percentage of people in England live in London and like stupid stuff like that. One of the legit questions that I got
things
on
nobody would know.
Yeah.
Well, they're either things that nobody would know or no one cares about. Like there was a question that was where are Geordies from? Like that was a legit question on my actual naturalization test. So I was like, Manchester, obviously, yeah.
Well, I do have a really important geographical question for you, which is where does the Duggar Claus live?
The Duggar Claus? In this house. Yeah.
Merry Christmas, my
friend.
friend.
He's in his Stephen King living room, obviously. It just looks like it's one of those Stephen King set pieces behind you with the wallpaper. I don't know why. Your house.
Well, you don't realise that Doug is changed to the bed.
I've
right, misery style.
Blurred the background so then it's less creepy.
Yeah.
So there's an alien.
Also, I'm not sure if that's like if that's a set piece like yours is, Andy. Either. That's just his house, dog.
Yeah, this is just
he's up on his house. We're all gonna live somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. And this is my dining room, so all bets are off, really. Oh, Doug, it's been a while. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you all? Y'all in the holiday spirit?
Ho ho ho!
Oh, yeah.
As a Swede, yes. Christmas Eve tomorrow. That's the day we celebrate. So
nice.
This is the pre-celebration time.
I'll be honest. That's one of the reasons why I decided to move this to today was knowing that not only would none of our Swedish friends be able to join, 100% definitely not, but also you wouldn't be able to watch. And I appreciate you guys and the love that you give to this channel. So, I thought I'd make sure that you have no excuse not to watch this show. It's been a really busy month. And just thinking in terms of Kickstarters, I had a major grumble on Discord earlier on this week.
Pledge managers, and Kickstarters fulfilling this month. I'm not going to name names, but I wasn't too pleased when one of the pledge managers decided to collect yesterday. I know what that one was.
Yeah.
Was that your miniature one?
No.
Or was this the one beginning with B?
No.
Oh, that's all right.
Let me guess, Phil. A very successful pledge manager, Kickstarter, that ran for a very short time.
No. This there was that as well. So there was the Free League Kickstarter. Actually, Andy, you're right. It does begin with B. I was thinking of the product that it relates to.
Oh, right.
Just say it, you scaredy cat.
No, I'm not going to name and shame Burn Pile.
Fill the beans. Come on.
I just did.
Yeah, because the Free League one, Phil, to be honest, you already got the PDF. That is instant return.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I'm not going to have time to read it.
I never read the PDFs when I get things like that. Whenever I buy things on Kickstarter, I'm waiting years until the physical gets here for me to read things. I never read the PDFs.
Well.
Sorry?
You read the physical book
tiny bit.
Yeah, no, I also don't read the physical book. Yeah. Because it's been years. I don't care about that anymore.
Yeah, done that.
What the fuck is this?
I've got some other Kickstarter I'm excited about now.
There's a tiny bit of controversy with the Mythic Britain thing. I don't know if I should spoil it for you or mention the controversy, but there is a tiny controversry with it. So, yes.
Wow.
Shall I tell you?
You're gonna have to now.
One of the scenarios, I think it's the Clant. I'm not doing Welsh. Okay, it's Lantwell is what it looks like. I think is to do with mines and mine collapses, and is set in Wales, and that hits a raw nerve for some people in Wales. So there's a tiny bit of controversy there because there's Aberfan and things like that. So I don't know what they're going to do about that, if they're going to change it or not. But it's in the alpha at the minute.
I'm surprised. Usually Graham, because Graham wrote all that book. I'm surprised that.
Well, the Aberfan. I don't want to bring it down. Do a downer, but the Aberfan disaster in Wales was rather unpleasant and well known, and the part of the backstory to one of the scenarios seems to mention that in a sort of roundabout way, and it's a little delicate, I think, for Wales. But anyway, I mean, I'm not Welsh, so it doesn't really impact on me.
It's a tricky one as well because I mean, a lot of our stories are, kind of painted from tragedy. They really are, and it's very difficult to paint something that might be feasible, I guess, and touches on real world, and then feel like you got a limit on everything.
It's not explicit, so it's not a direct reference or anything like that, but it conjures up images of that. So therefore, it's maybe a little on the nose, maybe not, depending on where you are and who you are, and that sort of thing.
Jess has got a good point.
So maybe for me, having no concept for understanding what this incident or what it was actually was, I can only refer.
I'm not going to detail it. You can.
No. I that wasn't my intention now either. It's like Chaosium, one of their guidelines when it comes to writing for their publishing forum, like Free League's. I forgot the name. Workshop. Is you're not allowed to take historical horrendous things from history and blame it on the mythos.
Yeah,
because that is a big no-no in their catalog.
There's no direct reference to the event. It just echoes the event, and it's not like they're trying to say that this particular tragedy was caused by person or whatever. They're just saying that this event happened, and it's similar to. And I don't even mention Evervan, actually, to be fair, but it just conjures up that sort of mental picture, and as a result, it's not a direct problem. It's just a sort of I can't think of an equivalent really, but it sort of conjures up that sort of feel, if you see what I mean.
It's a tricky one.
Sounds a little bit like the same. I'm actually going to start running Blood Drive, the Deadlands Weird West one next week, and I'm really looking forward to that. And obviously that for anyone who isn't familiar with that, it's you're replaying the Wild West, right? And the Wild West comes along with all its the atrocities, the horribleness of all the slavery and all that kind of stuff that went along with it. And they have written a whole heap of stuff into that book whereby they basically they say, look, all that happened, but because of this like ghost rock event, the war went on for a lot longer, and eventually basically society's sort of ideals changed drastically really quickly because they realized that every human is sort of worth they're worth the same, and so women became wranglers and former slaves became emancipated and all this kind of stuff, and so essentially they wrote away in the book to be able to make it so that with regards to all that kind of stuff, it can still be there, but you can role play it with modern day sensibilities. And I think that's really important because I'm not familiar with the thing you're talking about that happened in Wales, but I feel like there's not really room in the hobby for role playing stuff. Like, why would I pretend to do something so heinous? You know what I mean? Like, we're all pretending to be something else and all that kind of stuff. And I don't see the attraction of pretending to be the worst of what humans can be. And I mean, in the Weird West setting, they say, look, there are still bigots, there are still racists, but generally these are ideals held by the bad guys. So you can, as a group, you can rally against that in the same way as you would in real life. And I think in that way it's okay to touch on it, but you do have to be so careful, right? Like, because we're all here for fun.
I think it's really difficult as well because in all honesty, and without wanting to sound like I'm gaslighting, I that's not my intention. It is very easy to find something to be offended by in any modern published media. As someone who's an Irishman, in terms of my upbringing, I'm sure that there's going to be something in there that I find a little bit distasteful or a little bit off because it's not been written by an Irishman, for example. But that's okay. And we do, I think, have to remember that ultimately this is a work of fiction that's trying to set itself in an alternate reality of a real world. And I think any book you're going to find, even if you're looking at something like, even the Genesis, which is set in the future, there's a whole load of political stuff in there that is very easy to get offended by. And I'm sure that it's very, very easy.
I'm not trying to.
No, I know you're
not saying that they are, taking this event and trying to include it or embiggen it or anything else. And I had a similar discussion recently today about World War II settings and things like that. And why you would maybe be offended by something in a World War II setting, but when it becomes World War III and fictional, you're not offended in the same way because, hey, it hasn't happened, right?
I just won't read a setting that's World War II if I'm not interested in World War II, and I won't read something about historical Britain.
Yeah,
even if it's
easy to find. It's easy to, as you say, it's easy to find something to be offended by. Very easy. But at the same time, sometimes some things seem to sail a little closer to the wind than maybe they should. That's all I'm saying on it.
Yeah,
personally, I'm not offended by it.
No,
but there are people who've said that they are. So,
well, I think there's a responsibility of every person to put some effort into trying to understand the intent of the author.
Yeah, it's context as well.
Exactly. Anyway, it's freaking Christmas.
Yeah, let's not do this. I've lowered the tone.
I keep looking
changed
at
the tone.
Breasts. They're a bit saggy.
Can you get radio channels on those?
Probably.
Very tunable.
It's cheap shit from Lidl. What do you expect?
You didn't get the Lidl Christmas jumper though.
It is.
No,
It
there's
is.
one that has the Lidl branding.
Oh no!
That's amazing. I really like that. What have we got happening in the comments?
What's wrong
Overall,
with you?
yeah, this is why lines and veils come in handy for the X card during play. Absolutely, you need to really understand who you've got on the table as well.
It's a good way to wrap up that conversation.
Exactly.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm really excited to start playing Weird West. I guess that's Kickstarter related, right? My Kickstarter came in. I've started reading through that sort of thing, and I love all the different sort of ways in which they're trying to fold the like being a cowboy into the system. There's a duel system where you sort of like, I mean, I'm not going to explain the whole thing, but there is an element. I'm not sure if you've ever played Savage. So with Savage Worlds, the initiative works by dealing cards out, and the highest card goes first, sort of thing. Which, by the way, I'm really enamored with in the first place because I love the idea of rounds being dynamic, but I don't want to have to roll dice and do math every time, right? Like, so
you got enough math elsewhere with Savage Worlds.
Yeah, well, there's that. Yeah. But what I like about this is that they do the initiative system, but you keep your initiative secret for a couple of rounds, and there's this like interplay between when you're dueling with someone, they have secret cards, you have secret cards, and you have ways to interact with each other's cards and stuff. So it's kind of like playing, I don't know, Texas Hold'em poker or something, like in the middle of the initiative, and just the whole thing it feels like a leather slapping cowboy, like it's fantastic. I'm really looking forward to running it. You've run it, haven't you, Phil? Or
yeah,
you're in a game of it?
I ran Deadlands Noir. You were in that damn game.
Well, no. I'm talking about Weird West specifically. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. So
yeah.
I ran Deadlands Noir for 6 or 7 months. We tried Fantasy Grounds. We tried Foundry, and then we just ended up rolling dice because it's just so hard to learn otherwise. And then we so friend of the show Chris is currently running Weird West, the horror on Headstone Hill, one or the other. I've got it somewhere. I think it's in a box, which is the first scenario that came with the new Weird West stuff. Yeah, so he's running that. Weird West is fantastic. It's a lot of fun. I still haven't got Savage Worlds properly in my head after all this time. But yeah,
there's a surprising amount of crunch to it, isn't there?
There is.
Or more than I thought there would be.
There is.
Well, what I like about it is there's a surprising amount of crunch if you're looking for it. There's so many, like basically every rule. It describes the rule, and then it describes how you would hand wave it. And I love that about Savage Worlds, because I'm a big fan of the hand wave.
The king of the hand wave.
Yeah. I guess it works like this, that's like my most used phrase when I'm DMing. Yeah. But no, it's fantastic. And I love the exploding dice. I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough of exploding dice.
You can't not like exploding dice.
I ran my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles adventure the other day, and one of my players beat the big bad evil guy with exploding dice, like just completely obliterated. He got like 34 damage or something, and it was fantastic. It was a great moment,
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got one more person joining us. Really great guy who has really brightened up our Discord and our live chats throughout the shows. He's just epically failed to get his big box of the Genesis Shame. Great GM, really nice guy, and his camera is off, so I'm going to add him anyway because he was here for a second. Hey Jay, how you doing?
How are we doing, people?
Hey Jay,
thank you for joining us.
Not a problem. Nice to see you all.
I hear that FedEx are doing you absolutely no favors today.
They're brilliant. I love them. They are absolutely fantastic.
Are they your
were
favorite?
On time, all day. Go on, Phil.
I can say they're your favorite FedEx of the day.
Of course they are. They are out of all the FedEx companies I know, they are the best ones. I'll tell you. Their delivery was on time, and then when it wasn't on time, they moved the they moved the time scale and still said it was on time. Now it's on time for tomorrow.
Yeah, can't be late if you just change the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's right.
Yeah, you got it, Zach.
Well, it's like British Rail when they don't cancel the train, they just move it by 4 hours.
Yeah, but they also had 66 minutes per hour at one point.
Yep.
Joel comes to the party.
Joel, that is awesome.
Come on. He's putting us to shame. Like, come on. It's over.
Wow.
Fail.
I thought I had this. I've got a mini fridge under my desk. I thought I had this, but no.
No, he's got a keg.
Yeah. There's always someone with a bigger gun, right? You know,
I guess so. Holy smoke.
Joel, can you please describe to me the notes? Describe the flavor. What have you made?
This is a porter. It's a low ABV one, sort of 4.4%, and I've added some smoked malts to it. So it's a lightly smoked porter, and that goes excellent with the Swedish traditional Christmas food. It cuts through the fat excellently.
All I know is Yule and I need to convention together. If this is the way he Christmases, like, we need to get this guy over to the States and do some of these bigger conventions.
Yeah, he can stop off in the UK first. On the way.
This is the way I party. I brew for occasions and competitions, and Christmas is an occasion.
Yes.
Nice.
So yeah, then
we have joked about, and it's not really that much of a joke. It's more a question of finances, but maybe trying to invade GothCon in 23. So it's definitely not going to happen next year because everything is broken and no one's got any money. Because despite all being in lockdown, we've all spent our money on things that we didn't need. How's that the Genesis delivery coming for you, Jay?
Genesis. How can I put it? I didn't go the full fill level, did I?
Well, you couldn't. You were just a little too late.
It's only 11 kilograms, the box is coming.
What did you pick up, Jay? Did you pick up like almost everything?
Yes.
Pretty much almost everything that was available, right?
Yeah. It's the Knowing Thy Blood, but the other two. Just Titanium, Cold Rule Book, Harm's Way, and Troika.
All the role play. You bought every bit of role play on that Kickstarter.
Yeah, it's funny because, like, you know, now that they said that they're going to stop, you know, producing and publish Genesis, they probably had more sales, like, in the last couple months than they've probably had like all year.
Well, I find this interesting that they actually approached a few people a couple of months before making the decision to say, will you advertise our books? Like Dave Thermatorge, is it? He got approached literally a couple of months.
There are a couple of videos up, aren't there, of what is Genesis, how to play Genesis that have come out.
Yep.
Like in the last 6 months. And it's really weird.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I really do like his reviews are quite in depth, so I really do like them. Yeah. But it's interesting to see that they've had a big drive and then.
It's gonna be a real kick in the nuts if you come across that video and then you go and try and buy it and it's not available though, right?
But you can download it all for free. And I downloaded it.
But that's PDFs, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't weigh 11 kilos, and I'm not waiting to do this.
And it's not free because every time you do that, instead of paying for the product, you cause the company to stop the line.
And this is what's
kind of the way. I'd like to point out that they actually put it out for free themselves.
I know.
Yeah, they did, but they estimated that people would appreciate it enough to spend money on it.
They had too much faith in humanity.
Yeah, the thing is, I think they would have done. I think people would have spent money on it if it wasn't the fact the books are ludicrously expensive.
Right.
The books are.
I mean, I think they're actually worth it.
I agree.
I absolutely love them. I think they're so. You know, I love Free League, but you know, Free League put out great stuff. But I have to say, of all the books on my shelf, I think the nicest looking books are the Genesis books. They're spectacular.
Oh, they are. Yeah, absolutely.
but they charged the price to make them spectacular. And I think actually that was the problem. If they'd have been standard RPG price, still nice, good quality books, I think people maybe would have bought them.
I mean, like you're looking at 90 quid for the rule sets, for the core rule books. And in reality, if you're not getting them on sale, you'll pay about the same for the 3
D&D.
core books for D&D, but you can get them on sale for a lot less.
Did they have a quick start though as well, like for this Genesis?
No, they just put everything out for free.
There's no way I'm parting with 90 quid before I've even played your game. You know,
they put out the PS for free, Zach.
Oh, right, okay.
I want to take an example, and this is where I'm a bit worried for one of the smaller Swedish publishers, because they still really believe in give the PDFs for free and people will buy the physical products. They are the ones that made this.
Hang on, let me embiggen you, Joe.
Yeah.
No.
Woo!
And this is so amazingly pretty. I'm gonna show you. It came out before what's the name of the it's not Moana, another Disney movie, Raya. It's in the same style, and it came out before that one. It's adventuring, it's watercolors, it's really pretty all the way through.
Nice.
And I think they're about to make this into English.
Nice.
I really think there is a market for it. And they are still dead set on PDFs for free, and people will buy the book.
I think that there is that is a good way to market. I just think that you have to, like, you can't give something for free and then charge a super premium price. It's got to be hey, here's a little taste of what we put out, but here's kind of what the industry standard is. Like, okay,
there's a lot of value in pay what you want. It's important, I think, and
and this is pay
books is free,
but it accepts 0.
Well, I think accepting 0 is okay if you recommend a sensible amount. I think that at least encourages. Whereas with the Genesis, you cannot pay for PDFs. There's no mechanism for it. And the only thing that holds you back is that their membership system is slightly broken, and if you fail to register properly, then you never get the login token.
And we're not talking about like 100-page PDF. We're talking about like 400 or 500-page PDFs, like crazy huge PDFs that like they take up storage space. And like if you want to get into that game, you have to read up hundreds and hundreds of pages of text and books.
The thing is that the making your PDFs free and then charging a ludicrous price for the books hurts you twice. And the reason being is that, like, first of all, the obvious one is, I've got the PDF for free. Why would I pay 90 quid for?
It's not worth any money.
It's like, it's good. It's like, even if the book is good, it's still kind of like, that's a lot of money to part with for just to get what I've already got, but in physical form. But also, there's a thing in like sort of marketing where they basically say you're kind of better off charging for something, because something that's free in the eyes of the consumer is kind of lesser. You know what I mean? Like people expect to pay money for things in the capitalist society that we've got. Like it's kind of like people expect that you pay for quality, sort of thing. And so if your thing's free, there's an assumption that there's already not quality there. So it hurts you twice, because people won't jump on board because it's free, and if they do jump on board, they won't want to jump onto your physical copy because you're having to pay so much. Like the difference is so vast.
If you value your intellectual property as 0, then everyone else will as well. I have a very quick question. I need to disappear to get some Yule must. However, my question to everyone is when is a man not a man? The answer is when he's a mother freaking space cat. Poor cat.
That's a wonderful, wonderful intro.
There you go.
Or a weird one.
Marry everything.
Well, if I were to ask a question then regarding the one I just showed you. It's a really beautiful product. It's well layouted. It's well written.
I've returned.
In the physical copy, it costs 40 quid in a store in Sweden, whereas Väsen in Swedish, for instance, to have a price reference, costs 450. So it's cheaper than a Free League product would be in the same store. Would it be viable for them to have a pay what you want for the PDF? Of course, they have a recommended price, but you can still put in 0. Or would that hurt them? My fear is that it would hurt rather than give them marketing to have it for free.
Pay as you want.
I agree.
Honesty to it. A lot of people do actually, pay something. The problem is they probably don't pay what you want.
Most likely.
So here's go ahead, Joel.
Doug?
No,
I backed.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I backed this one. They had this at the Kickstarter, and I was only, because I didn't know much about it, I was only interested as a PDF. So I wrote them and asked, what do I back if I only want the PDF? And their answer was, well, once the product is out in retail, you can pay whatever you want. But I wanted to back it at the Kickstarter level to give them something. So I ended up buying a physical copy, and then I entered a competition. So to put it bluntly, I have 2. And it was a freaking beautiful that they have already had a Kickstarter for a package of scenarios that was only like 20 quid for 5 scenarios. I backed that one, and I backed the next one that's going to come as well. Still haven't played it. It's a beautiful game. I really hope they succeed in doing it in English, if they do.
Yeah.
Because I think the world deserves it.
Cool.
Go ahead, Doug. I don't want to interrupt you.
My opinion on PDF copies in general is, like, we live in a digital age. Like, if somebody really wants a PDF copy of a game, more than likely they can find it. Like,
yeah.
Even now, like if you really wanted to be a cheapskate and not support the company and just play a game, 95% of every game that's published, you can find the digital copy for free online. Yeah. So it's not really a big
community copies. I think if someone legitimately can't afford, that's kind of
right. Oh, absolutely.
Thing.
That is a different thing. But I don't know, the whole, like, there. I get what the Genesis was trying to do, and I get I get the whole mentality of, hey, you know what? We want people just playing our game, and hopefully the community will come around and buy the physical copy. I just, like, you're always going to have that part of the community that's always going to be like, hey, you know what? I don't care if I support this publisher. I just want to play the game, and they'll find a way to play it for free. And just don't be that guy. Don't be that person.
I think the thing is, though, is that there's not enough legitimate publishers that are willing to do the free PDF thing, because I don't want to reveal too much of my tomfuckery on the internet here, but like I've never paid any money for pay what you want things, right? Like it's big. The main reason being, I've always got things, and then like a year later I'll play them, and I'll just forget that I'll forget to go back and pay for this thing. But I've also pirated things, and whenever I've run something that's pirated, I've gone back and I've actually bought it before I ran it, because I was kind of like, because I had the chance to read through it, go, this is something I want to run. It's really interesting. So now I'm going to go and support the publisher. But it was because I pirated it that I remembered to give money to the publisher, because I kind of felt a bit guilty about it. So I don't know. Maybe there needs to be more bigger publishers willing to put things out for free, so that it is kind of, because the pay what you want is kind of a bit of a dice roll at the moment as well, right? Because there's so many pay what you want things where people are just like trying it out. Hey, maybe I can be a publisher and I'll try and write something, and it's garbage.
That's where you get on some Twitter accounts and things like that. You do get a little sort of donate button, Twitter's doing it at the moment with, I think they're copying Coffee or Kofi or however you want to pronounce it. I think Linktree and a couple of others have the same sort of thing. So if you do get it and you do pirate it and you do then want to give a little something, you can do without feeling too guilty.
Yeah.
Well,
what do you think about the calcium?
Hang on. I just wanted to say that there is one book I would definitely buy without pirating it at all, and that would be Doug's Book of Bees. I would pay for that. I would pay good money for that.
So 2023, I guess that's my that's one of the things I'm gonna have to accomplish is to write and publish the Book of Bees and have it be a purist RPG.
Oh yeah, we want the Book of Bees. It has to be.
No, let's be accurate here. Andy wants the Book of Bees.
I'll sell one copy.
Yeah,
I'll spend days
what you want.
hours and hours on this, and Andy will have the lone copy.
I think you should call it the Bee Sanction. Actually, I think there's a whole possibility.
Only if I can get you to come on and write an adventure for it.
Sure, yeah, why not?
All right.
What did you want to say about Chaosium?
Yeah, and this is in regards to the PDF and PDF models, how you handle them. And that is, what do you guys think about the Chaosium model, where they release a new product as PDF and only as PDF first, and you can buy it, and you get a coupon that if you want to buy the physical copy after, when it's released, or maybe if it's released at the same time, you get the deduction of the price of the physical copy equal to the price of the PDF.
I think that's
I like that.
Yeah, I think that's a smart marketing move. That's brilliant. Yeah, no, I think more publishers should do that, and I think.
Sorry, I've just been completely sidetracked by this. Hi, Polar Knights.
I think, you know what I would love to see? I would love to see something that, like, how I know Cortex Prime did this with their books, but like every book, like if you publish an RPG and you have a physical book, put some sort of code in your book to give the buyer a physical PDF copy of it.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's brilliant. I think that's something that we should be doing right along. And I know, like, if you go to your friendly local game store, sometimes they have the bits and mortar program, and they set you up with a free PDF anyway.
A good game do something like this, and sometimes it works.
Helmgast has got exactly that option.
That's true.
They have their own store for digital, and if you buy a physical product from Helmgast, you will get a code that you redeem on their website, and then you have the digital as well. But I was thinking the other way around, because it's, as Chaosium knew, Phil says that they said they never do Kickstarter, and
that's not true.
That's not true.
It's not true, but it's not really a lie either, because for a company the size of Chaosium, having done a total of 6 Kickstarters, where like 2 were catastrophes, and one of them was for something else. The model they are approaching is they create the product, they release it digital, let people buy the digital with a coupon off the physical, and that's how they handle pre-orders as well. Because then they know the interest, how many physical copies do we need to print.
Yeah.
But even if you're a smaller publisher, like the one I showed you, the Swedish one, if you sell the PDF for a certain price, and that price is knocked off a physical copy if you buy it afterwards, then at least you get paid the production value of the PDF.
Yeah, and a fair price for this, instead of what happens right now.
And
is a $2 for a PDF doesn't really cover the IP, because the reality is the printing and distribution of a book is not the main costs.
It might be the main cost, but they don't correlate, because either you charge the PDF too little or the physical too much.
But it's all on the physical. When you actually, Doug probably has more insight in this than I do, but I'm pretty sure that actually when you look at the production costs for a book behind me, for example, actually the production of the book is, a couple of dollars, and even the shipping is probably only $3 or $4. The rest is all that stuff that goes on in the background, paying your artists, paying your writers, keeping the lights on, and you still need to cover that with your PDF. Otherwise, you end up in a situation where you've rated your PDF as 0 and suddenly everything you're doing doesn't make money and you have to close the division.
So here's our $1 million idea, right? Get ready to get rich, lads. This is our $1 million app idea.
Is this Zimbabwean dollars?
Is this the last $1 million idea? Because I'm telling you now, Exploding Kittens was good for the card
It's
game.
never going to work.
Real life.
Yeah.
No,
Exploding Kittens is never going to work. It's never going to work. Never mind, that's a fad. With PDFs, right? One of the things that is a bit of a pain in the butt is if I've got a physical copy of a book, right? I pay for the rights of the book. I get the book. And when my friend Bruce says, "Can I borrow that book because I'm running a campaign that has those sort of rules in it and stuff," I lend it to him, and he borrows it for a couple of months, and then I get it back, sort of thing. But with PDFs, if the same scenario happens, I just give him my copy of the PDF, right? And it's just kind of the way it is, right? And that's how piracy happens, because then he gets it and he kind of goes, "Oh well, I guess I'll give it to a friend. I'll give it to a friend." Before you know it, it's up on some nefarious website, right? Whereas if you had some marketplace where you could buy PDFs that also gave you codes, maybe you could buy extra codes or whatever, but you could get codes that you could give to your friends and say, "Here, I'll lend you my copy of the PDF," right? And you can view it in their viewer on the website or whatever, so you can't download the PDF and just perpetuate the problem of the piracy and so forth. But it gives you the ability to be able to lend a PDF, which is kind of and people then are able to pay a little bit of extra money to the people who have made the book. Then you don't have to charge. The charging £2 or £3 then is not a big deal, because you can make extra, because you might want to have more lender copies or whatever, And then you also try, you potentially, because the thing is that Netflix really killed, didn't completely kill it, but it did a big dent in movie and TV piracy, because when you give people what they want when they want it for the right price, they will pay the money.
Yep.
People won't go out of their way to Netflix, though. Yeah, no, of course, but people won't go out of their way to pirate. They just won't. If you make it easy enough for them to pay you, then they will. So it's just about finding ways to do that, right?
So just to give you a little bit of insight on behind the scenes at Free League, I don't know if y'all remember, a year ago, we did we offered Forbidden Lands for free, the whole core box set. We just said, hey, I think it was at the end of the year around Christmas or something, and we said, hey, here it is, it's for free. Don't just go download it on DriveThruRPG, and you've got the full game. This is our gift to you. And I'll tell you what, that made that IP have one of our best years ever.
Yeah,
it was crazy. So there is value in giving away a free product. You just have to do it right. I don't know how, and I don't know how that is.
Speaking of free product and Christmas, Yule sent me some Yule must.
What is that? Nice.
So I am under obligation.
This is the real tricky part, Doug. What is it? What does it taste like? If you ask a Swede what it tastes like, all the Swedes will say Yule must. It tastes like Yule must.
It tastes like Christmas.
It really does.
And we drink this for Christmas. That's why it tastes like Christmas. But if anyone were to describe the taste,
okay, I can tell you now. It smells like antifreeze.
Good start.
So I'm just going to pour some in. I'm not stupid. That's how much I'm drinking.
I have emergency on speed dial here.
Come on.
It's a bit like Iron Brew, but less offensive.
Is this not alcoholic?
No,
non-alcoholic.
I like that.
This is a recipe. The base recipe of this is 100 and something years old. It appeared in the market when
like Iron Brew.
Like an alternative to beer and alcohol.
That's a sarsaparilla type thing?
I'm not sure what the flavour is.
It's kind of like a sarsaparilla type of a thing.
It's a
I have no idea, because if you ask a Swede, Yule must, everybody knows what Yule must taste like. It's been around at Christmas time for over 100 years. Everybody drunk it.
Dissimilar. Sorry, Joe.
But no one can describe what it tastes like.
Phil, if you think it tastes like iron brew, and apparently I'm reliably informed that iron brew is made from girders, is Yule must also made from girders?
No, because it's Swedish, so it'll be made from birch trees.
It's a bit like best way I can describe it. It's a bit like a very subdued liquid Christmas cake. How's that?
I mean, you can definitely taste the
sounds lovely.
Some of the same things that you find in Coca-Cola, not Pepsi, but Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some citrus in there. Sugar, definitely. Caramel. There's something else that I can't quite put my finger on. It's a little bit root beery. No, not at all. It's really nice. But yeah, definitely citrus. Definitely caramel. It reminds me a little bit of Coke when it's gone a little bit flat, but it has to be like Coca-Cola Coke, not like Pepsi or anything like that. I like it.
Well, if this whole RPG thing doesn't work out, then you go to future in drink testing, you know, on your stream.
This
you could do
type of drink is the sole reason that Coca-Cola sales in Sweden drops by more than 50% in December.
Really?
This is definitely better than Coke.
Wow.
I'll tell you that now.
Coca-Cola sales is dead in Sweden.
Is it really?
December. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, in December.
In December. But this one is only sold for December and a little bit through Easter. That's the only time you find in stores. And Coke HQ in US has been riding the coattails of the Swedish department. You need to make Coke the Christmas drink, and they fail, and they fail, and they fail, and the US don't understand why. This has been around in Sweden since I think it was 1912 or 14, something like that.
Wow.
The base recipe, the syrup that is the core of every Yule must, is made by one company, and that recipe is only known by 3 persons. It's more secretive than Coke, and they sell this, the core essence, to all the other breweries that make this one. The one I said Phil is made by Lidl, and they add their own twists to it.
It does have that kind of the dryness that you get from like a cranberry juice as well. It's really interesting.
There's a whole scenario waiting to be written here about the secret ingredients in Yule must.
Try to
There's
find
a Wilson
out.
scenario or something just hanging around the corner here.
And Phil, try it with some peppercorn if you got some.
I'm pretty sure someone's already written that particular thing, except it was about the Colonel's 11 secret herbs and spices.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say there's a side adventure there with the 11 herbs and spices. Yeah.
Are you telling me I have to dunk this or something?
No, eat it and drink.
Okay.
Dunk it. I'm saying dunk it.
I'm just looking online to see if anywhere in the UK it sells it. IKEA do something called Winter Saga. Is that the same thing?
That's their name for it.
Yeah. Okay.
And they bought the essence of it from Robert. They don't make drinks themselves. They just make this essence and sell it to other companies. That's their entire business.
Okay. Now I gotta find it. I gotta see if I can find this in the States.
To be fair, that's also the IKEA business model, isn't it? Sends you the essence of a wardrobe.
Thing is, IKEA wouldn't pay anyone else for the essence for a wardrobe.
No, they'd make it out of MDF and chipboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking this will probably be really good with rum, to be honest with you. Spiced rum.
Sounds like a terrible idea.
with a half a bottle of glögg already.
I can see the next D100 table in Weird Space for Paul being written here. Swedish drinks that cause you a hangover.
Swedish flat pack drinks.
Yeah.
Not
self-assembly.
But Doug, you ought to just write an email to Thomas and say, I demand some Yule must to continue my work in the US. Make sure I get some with the next shipment.
I'm probably not gonna email Thomas that. I'll maybe Anna or one of the other, or maybe Matthias. Thomas, yeah, I try not to bother Thomas with like, ridiculous emails. Although I think I do it anyway. I think I can't quite get it, but I think every once in a while, like he'll get an email, he'll see like my email come through and be like, oh no, not that guy again.
I mean, I would probably feel the same way, but
yeah, I know.
So,
Thomas is super nice though. He's just a super nice guy, but he's so busy, and I feel bad whenever I'm like, and like, I wish I could like not have to contact him for like the little things, because I know it's like just not something that's going to be high on his priority list, but I need to get some answers, and I always feel bad that I'm bothering him. So I'll probably email Anna and see if I can get.
Doug, can I just ask you, Doug, are you Canadian?
Any Swede, if
What's
they're
that?
going to send you a shipment of anything, as of right now, then they can go to the local store 2 meters away and buy Yule must.
Doug, are you Canadian? Because you're so intent on apologizing.
Am I Canadian? I mean, my grandfather was Canadian.
That explains a lot.
I bet you're not nearly as big a problem as you think you are, Doug. No. I bet you as soon as an email arrives in this person's inbox, it goes straight to the top of priority list.
No,
I've got to help him out.
It goes right into the spam. I'm sure it's like, oh, it's Doug.
Oh yeah,
I need to put that spam blocker. And that reminds me, I need to put that spam blocker on.
Okay. It's Christmas. Has anyone got anything? It doesn't have to be role-playing related or gaming related. Is there anything on anyone's Christmas list that they know 100% they're definitely getting? Yule, are you going? Are you waiting?
Yeah, I'm going, and I'm saying Merry Christmas. Have an excellent holiday, everybody.
Good Yule.
And you?
Good Yule. Yeah. I need to spend it with the missus, otherwise I will not be joining you ever again, I believe. So,
thank you to your wife for letting us have you for this evening.
As always,
I hope that you and your family have a wonderful, wonderful Yule, and I will talk to you next week.
Skål, mina vänner.
Skål.
Skål.
Skål, indeed.
Not school.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm reading. I'll explain another time. Someone's just put something up here, and I've just read it, and I was distracted.
Yeah.
Your help.
Bye. Put it down, Andy.
Yeah, so has anyone got anything on their Christmas list? Is there anything that people are treating themselves to? I guess, Jay, that probably includes the Genesis for you.
It kind of does, but I've also got second in the Emissary Lost Coriolis.
Yeah.
Coming.
Is mine up here? I think mine's in a box. Yeah, mine's in a box. Yeah, I need to have a good read of those. I might run Coriolis again once we get the alleged second edition that might appear one day, if that ever happens.
That's going to be a while, though, Phil. I'm
that's
just
fine.
saying,
I've got plenty of time.
Check out those books.
Yeah. Planning ahead. What about you, Andy? Is there anything on your list of things that you're treating yourself to, or that you have asked?
I have. Well, I know one of the presents I'm getting, and I have treated myself to a small something. My wife's got me the first volume of the Mountains of Bandits, the Free League Mountains of Bandits.
Oh, lovely!
Nice.
Yeah. The second one, I don't understand this. The second one is out on Free League's web store now, but Amazon insists it won't be published till the 1st of February. So I assume Amazon are getting delivery or something around.
It might be, yeah. Or
it needs to go to distribution.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm getting that. And the thing I treated myself to is something that I never thought I'd buy in a million years, which is a Magic the Gathering starter set. And the thing is, I have very bad experiences of Magic the Gathering because I played it briefly in the early 90s. And the person I played it with was an incredibly sore loser. And I hated the game as a result and just threw it to one side, because it was like the only person I could play it with was this guy, and couldn't play it with him. And then by a long and convoluted route, which started off actually with the desanction, because the desanction has a playing card mechanic in it. And then I was looking at cards, and then cards led to card games, and so on. I looked at it and thought, well, maybe I'll just get a starter set. And there was a deal on Amazon for like £6 or £7 or something. So I thought maybe I'll get a starter set and I'll just have a look at it again. But as someone has just put in the Paul put in the private chat, yeah, it is incredibly addictive and expensive. And no, I will not be going down that path because it's, you know.
You say that now.
The gateway drug to the Theory 11 site, I'll tell you now.
Yeah, well, I see myself as sort of a casual user. You know, I mean, I might have the odd weekend social fix, and that would be it. But
you might dabble in the black and white vampires.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought I'd give it another look. So yeah, I've treated myself to that.
The times I've always been deepest into Magic has been when you've been able to find a group who's at the same level as you.
Yeah,
you know, in terms they want to play the games for the game for the reasons.
This
so like
deal...
we had this like. So go on.
No, sorry, I was just going to say this deal came with 2 redeemable online codes, so one for you and one for a friend or whatever.
Oh,
so
you get a PDF of all the cards.
No, you can redeem the codes on the.
It's a free PDF.
You can redeem the codes on the arena thing, so you can find another player and whatever. Now, the redeemable PDF tokens, I have no idea what you're talking about. Exactly. But yeah, so I thought I'd give that a go.
I've got a couple of suggestions for you, Andy.
Go on.
Are they card related
now? You see, I had both of the. I had the original Jihad. I didn't have Rage. I just had Jihad or whatever it is. I also had Netrunner back in the day as well, and I never ever played them. And they just got sold.
Netrunner's super fun. Yeah.
I had Doom Trooper. That was great. That was set in the Mutant Chronicles world.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought I'd give it a go. So that's my Christmas stocking of RPG or CCG related stuff.
And it's got
but as I say, it's about finding someone, a group of people that are on the same level. I used to have a whole heap of mates. We used to work together and we'd play at lunch, and we just we used to buy boosters and just put together janky ass decks. You know, they were never like anything, but because we were all playing janky ass decks, it was just kind of fun because it was a little bit random. You were never sure who was going to win, and that was kind of fun. Then one guy got really into it and started spunking like real money into like building these powerhouse decks.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just never fun to play him because either you would get absolutely spanked or you would get about 2 or 3 turns in, he'd realize that he'd missed his win condition and he'd be like, okay, that's it, let's just play another game. You know, and he'd gather up all these cards and I was like, you aren't going to let me beat you? You know,
it's rubbish.
I think it's just time for Doug to bring up his victory is not the only winning condition at the table.
Right.
Quite,
it's sad though when you see, because I've seen this happen in quite a few different communities where organized play is kind of a thing. You know, you get those people that just get so hyper focused on being the best. And it just ruins the community. Like I've seen it in quite a few different over these last few years. Like, and you just kind of want to say to them, you don't have to be like that. Let's all just have fun. And like to them, that's what fun is. Like it's winning like the best way possible. And it's like, no, I can't. I can't.
I find it win, right? But.
Yeah.
Well, I actually don't really enjoy competitive gaming because there is a dopamine hit for winning. Of course there is. But I don't really enjoy winning. I tend to feel bad about it. And then if I lose, I feel crap because I lost. So, it's like the old thing of, the only solution is, I think of war games, the only solution is not to play. I just prefer cooperative games, to be honest. And that doesn't mean I won't play competitive games, but I don't generally enjoy them anywhere near as much.
But see, everyone in that group that I was talking about, though, as I say, it's fun to win, right? Like, it is good when you put together a deck and you're like, oh, that's awesome, it works, it all comes together. But everyone, there was kind of like a bit of an unwritten rule that basically if you had a deck that was going to beat basically every deck, the challenge was to go and try and build another deck like that. You aren't good by building one really good deck. You're good by like the challenge is to continuously be able to do that and do different things. Because there was one guy who had, I noticed, Paul, you say you were a red goblin player. There was a guy who had a red-white goblin deck from like the late 90s and it just couldn't be beat. And he'd bring it out every now and again when he was losing.
Oh no, with my deck, it's not like that at all. It's a case of I've got one card that spawns 101 tokens. I've got another card which every time a goblin hits the deck, or every time a goblin hits the field, should I say, everybody has to flip a coin. If it comes up heads, he's murdered somebody on your team. If it comes up tails, then you're fine. But when this other guy is spawning, say, 12 goblins at a time, that means I'm guaranteed to lose at least 6 of the players that I've brought out. Because this goblin assassin, he's not picky. There's nothing on the card that says you are immune to this, or only your opponents take this damage. So it's a case of, right, I'm bringing out 12 goblin tokens. We all flick 12 coins, or bring out an app on his phone that flicks it 12 times. And we see how many we've killed off. There's been points where he's the first card I've got out, and he's assassinated himself.
Suicide Squad, advance.
Yeah.
Neil, what about you?
Goblin assassin comes out. Ah!
Neil, have you got anything on your Christmas list?
We don't tend to do sort of Christmas presents in a big way. Small family, and we just sort of kind of agreed a while back just to kind of get, like, it's nice to have something to open, right? Yeah. And it's nice to have like a surprise as well. Yeah. But we don't tend to do big prezzies. So I don't really know what I'm getting, and I haven't really treated myself to anything. But for me, I read a lot, role-playing books and fiction and non-fiction. So Christmas for me is a good opportunity to stock up on books for the year. So what I'm hoping is that, like most years, I'll get a stack of books that I can work my way through. So, cool. So what I tend to do is I just fill up my Amazon list and say to people, buy me books.
Yeah, that's so cool.
In fact, I have to persuade people because everyone says, "Oh, but you always just want books." Like, what else do you want? It's like, well, I don't really want anything. Just buy me books.
My mum was asked for socks this year. It's like, you can have anything. I know that you've got loads of stuff in the house that probably needs replacing. What do you want? I'd like socks. Okay, screw it. You're getting socks. Oh, anything else? Oh,
socks
some scissors for the kitchen. So she's getting some kitchen scissors and some socks.
Someone who's going to ask for socks, though, you got no idea how good a present socks is for someone who's actually going to ask for socks, because you're doing something that they don't want to have to do. You're taking away that hassle.
But she did tell me exactly which socks to buy. So,
well, you know, you saved her the trip. That's nice.
Oh, I know.
I realized I was getting old when my sock drawer actually had I categorized my good socks and just ordinary
socks that you should really throw away, but you haven't.
Right. Like, if I'm wearing good socks on a day, like, that's gonna be a good day.
The day you organize your sock drawer is the day you've hit the end of middle age.
Pretty much.
You start to sail.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Zach, what about you?
I've got an IKEA bag under my bed.
Zach, have you got anything on your self treats or in your wish list for Christmas that you can talk about?
I treat myself all year round, you know. No, I guess what's going to be my focus over the festive period is we've had 2020, we've had 2021, 2022. I'm gonna make a better RPG year. And I was hoping that I might be able to return to in-person gaming. It's kind of not looking like that might happen in at least the early part of 2022, but I'm determined to not let that get me down. I really want to do a regular DCC road crew game, which I'll advertise on your Discord. No, well, it's going to be online to begin with, obviously, because I kind of don't know how it's going to go. And then because it's starting online as well, even when it goes into in-person, I might just think about just prepping one adventure a month and then just having an online and a in-person of the same adventure, a month sort of thing, just for 2 different groups. That might be fun. and I'd get more DCC Road Crew games in, so I'd get more swag.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can have more stickers. So you heard it here first, everyone. The Dark Orb Discord link is below. May well have some openings up for Dungeon Crawl Classics coming up, and we haven't had a conversation about this, so I don't know if that will be a streamed game or if it's a private game. Doesn't really matter. One of those things.
I'm easy. I just want to run DCC. I just want to kill player characters.
We can complain as much as we want about their international shipping, but it's a great game. Great game.
So much fun.
Yeah,
I've been doing that in Forbidden Lands. 2 party kills by the end of the scenario, and got one player who's now deathly afraid and a bit paranoid about any time I mention harpies.
No one wants harpies. Mr. Cat, what about you?
I'm going to be treating. I do not want the harpies. No. I suppose it depends on how. But yeah.
Harpies.
I'm going to be treating myself to a commissioned miniature.
Oh, nice. Of yourself?
No. If you have a look at the aliens section of the Weird Space book, there's a 4-armed snake, clear villain type thing called an Amunian.
Let's see if I can find it.
Yes.
Where am I looking?
If you have a look in the index page and have a look for just aliens.
Aliens.
I think it's called sample aliens.
43, maybe. No, it's alien characters. That's probably not it.
Nah. You got sample aliens there? That's the fella. Little 4-armed snake guy.
Let me embiggen myself. Hang on.
Embiggen.
He's amazing. It's like a business snake.
Yes, it's like a used car salesman, only less trustworthy.
The snake people, long, thin limbs and scaly skin, ranging from a mucky brown color to an acid green, with numerous black or red markings.
Yep. Got a miniature. Got a miniature of that already commissioned from the guys behind the Modular Worlds Kickstarter.
Awesome.
Cool. Recently,
so you're getting that as an STL?
Yeah, an STL file potentially. I can print it off as well because I've got myself a 3D printer.
Yeah, awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I've been looking at poses for all 4 arms.
I can think of a few, but they're not a good idea.
I've been mostly looking at the Archer cartoon for hand gestures. It's pretty much like.
What about you, Duggar Claus? What have you got for us?
I don't know. I pretty much everything that like Zach said. I feel like I'm at that point in my life where there's something that I want to treat myself to. I usually do it throughout the year. So my I don't really. Christmas is kind of tough. And my family's they're not really gamers, so they don't really know what to buy me. So in that area, and the one thing that I would like to do that if I don't, I always like to get more equipment for creating content. I think that my next purchase, whether it's after Christmas or first part of January or whatever, is going to be a drone, a 4K drone, just to kind of do some more, different content, because I've been trying to do more stuff, and it's just hard. And you get to a point where you're just like, okay, I've got this. What else do I want to learn? And I think that's the next area that I got a chance. One of my friends down south let me borrow their drone. They're just south of the state, I should say. Let me borrow their drone over the summer, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. I'd love to take drone footage when I'm at big conventions in 2023 or 2022 and make a little more dynamic content that way. So yeah, I think that's probably but yeah, it's gonna be pretty low key, I think, for our house.
So look forward to the video of your drone flying right down to the Free League stand.
Right? No.
I
wouldn't do it inside, Andy. I wouldn't do it inside. I'd be like outside, while we're
I think there's a sort of potential shot there where you go right down to the stand or something.
I've got a 360 camera that I could probably do that with, but
just do a nice cut there. That'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're gonna film yourself playing Doug Ball.
Doug Ball.
Yeah, it's like dodgeball, but you're only allowed Dougs in there.
So no. I played. By the way, speaking of dodgeball, like in playing games, like I don't know if it's earlier this year. Like a couple months ago, I started teaching at a high school, and I got to actually play kickball. Y'all play kickball? Like I haven't played kickball in like decades.
Name. It's like rounders, but it's like a cross between rounders and what you guys know as football, right?
Okay, yeah. So I played that for like the first time in like probably like 3 decades. And I just
rounders and football matched together.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you got a football on the ground, and you kick it instead of hitting it with the bat, like with the rounders.
Exactly.
You still go around the diamond the same as you do with baseball.
Okay. Soccer, baseball.
Yeah, kind of like that. So I got to play that with a class, and my team dominated, and like I made some kids cry, and it's nothing better than watching high school kids just cry.
The great American tradition.
It's like 30-7. I'm taunting the kids as they come up to try to kick the ball. A 45-year-old man just like reduced down to like a 12-year-old. Just like
whenever it's your turn, you kick the ball into the other school.
Exactly. We had like varsity. We had varsity like sport players like on this kickball team, on the other kickball team. I'm like, come on, guys! Oh, Jay's up. Let's all come in because he's not going to kick it very far. We were talking smack and everything. And it was great. It was
when you first said it was a mix.
You heard it here first.
When you first said it was a cross between rounders and football, all I could imagine was like 2 groups of blokes with bats going at it, going straight towards each other.
No, that's lacrosse.
Oh yeah, that is lacrosse. That is exactly lacrosse.
Yeah, I played lacrosse a couple of times. It was great fun, but I was pretty young at the time, and as an adult, I'm like, that's not safe.
But no, I didn't actually make anybody cry, but it was fun. I haven't played any schoolyard games in quite a while, so it was yeah.
Cool.
I guess that's one thing that I really appreciate about 2021. It's given me a chance to kind of appreciate a lot more than because especially when I was doing these conventions, and I said this while we were going out to dinner and everything. In 2021, for all the headaches and everything, we did get to have a little bit of normal back of what things were like before 2020, and man, it was just really nice to have be able to sit down and have dinner with people at a convention and actually connect with people again and yeah, I hope that we can do more of that in 2022.
Yeah, I mean, in that way, when you're saying that with the schoolyard games and stuff like that, I almost missed 2020 a little bit from then because during 2020, when there was very little to be able to do that you could do, I went and took my kids down to a local car park and taught them how to skate. Like skateboard.
Nice. Sure.
Which for a bloke in his late 30s, like I'm not interested in getting told off by security guards anymore and tell them, you're the man, sort of thing. I'm not going to do that in front of my kids anymore. So now we've got a little bit of normalcy back. Now my kids are like, oh, Dad, you want to go down to the car park and skate and all that? And I'm like, I don't know. Not really.
Want? Yes. Am I gonna? No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Amazing.
I've still not built my last year's Christmas present, to be fair.
Oh, what was that, Jay?
Was it a car park?
No, it wasn't in a car park. It was the...
Was it the high-speed rail link?
The Gundam. No, I'm not doing that. I keep telling you, Phil, I have to keep telling you this. It was not me who proposed to dig near Stonehenge, okay? I was nothing to do with that.
You were nowhere near there at the time.
At all. The fact that I have got an ongoing argument with the druids is nothing at all to do with that. So I've got a model kit that's called the MGEX Unicorn Gundam version car, and the instruction manual. How can I put it? You think the name's long, you see the instruction manual. When I think I'm secretly putting off finishing it because I've got a page and a half A4 sized of water slides to apply to it after it's done.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So be putting off just code for prevaricating, right? I mean, it's
yeah.
I mean, I'm
slowly getting it's got like LED strips running through it, and it changes color, and it does all sorts of things. So it's
Jay, these are only water slides if you don't decide that they're not, in fact, temporary tattoos. You just put them all over your arm; you'll be fine.
Yeah. Just like
be the gun down
in a basin of water and just stick my arm in. Sort of thing.
Exactly.
How do you think I ended up with this in the first place? You know, it's
like a water dip.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I got for my birthday actually. I got the 1989 Tim Burton Lego Batwing, which is still sealed in the box because, like, about 3 weeks after that, we decided we were going to move house, and we put the house on the market, and of course, we still haven't moved. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to having a place to put that, and then I'll put lighting into it and make it into like a wall feature. It'll be cool.
Yeah, if you build it and then move house, you will lose a lot of little pieces of it.
Yeah, I'm really worried about moving the Batmobile.
There's a lot of places now as well that you might not have to do your own lighting. I've got like a couple of Christmases back. I got this Mustang.
And nice!
It came up with for like 30 quid. I got this like aftermarket like lighting kit and stuff.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Nice.
And it fits straight in there, and yeah, it looks really cool. And that's like the first time that I've turned it on in like probably over a year. But I'm glad it got the oohs and ahs that I bought the kit for.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. No, I've looked at that kit many times and thought about buying it, but I haven't. But I hear, in fact, Matt, one of our friends in the Discord, pointed out that there is now a SKU available for the tall necks from Horizon Zero Dawn as a Lego model, a Lego kit, possibly coming out in the middle of next year.
Nice.
That'll be fun. That'll be really fun.
In terms of Lego kits of cars, the next one I want to get is the Bugatti. You seen the Bugatti Veyron like model? Oh, that is
just don't get the Aston Martin.
Very nice.
It's horrible.
You don't like the look of the Aston Martin? I mean, I like the look of the car. I'm not sure if I don't like the look of the model.
Oh, the car's beautiful, but the model is just all sorts of wrong, in my opinion. Other opinions may be wrong as well.
Be very.
So I think we're at a good point to wrap up, probably here.
Hang on. Before we do, are you getting anything for Christmas, Phil?
Yeah. Come on.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Nobody's actually asked you, have they?
That's true. I totally forgot about me. I'm very lucky, actually. There are a couple of things that were on my list, one of which I was already buying for myself, which either half gave me the money for. And this will not make sense to anyone probably, but I got some coffee scales. Because actually when you make coffee properly, the ratio of coffee to water is really important, as well as how quickly or slowly you drip it in when you do like drip coffee. So some of those, and one of the major retailers here had a sale on, and then a further 30% off on Elgato stuff, and I've got a Stream Deck coming.
Nice.
So, all right.
Which I would never have bothered with, but now that finally, exactly. So now that StreamYard finally has hotkey support, it's actually worth it for me.
I think the Stream Deck is the Stream Deck is the iPad of the mid noughties for streamers these days. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where you don't feel like you need it, but then when you get it, you're like, actually, this is so much better. You know,
I had no reason for it for ages, but then StreamYard, which is what we use to produce the show, put hotkeys into the product about 3 months ago, and I'm like, okay, now I can actually do it without using a horrible hack. It seems like it might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, I highly recommend them.
You're not going to know yourself with those. You're not going to know yourself with those coffee scales either, because I know exactly what you're talking about in terms of like the coffee to water ratio. Because like sometimes when I get like the Nescafe Gold, I'll like put a bit in, and then I'll like come back for like a half a teaspoon just to get that ratio right. You know, so just, like,
this is with
bit on
freshly
the end
ground beans and all that sort of stuff. So this is me just being a pretentious, pretentious hack.
or whatever.
Hey, it's 2021, man. You be you. You be your whole
right.
you.
Enjoy what you can.
In fact, what I have right here, which arrived today, is my unboxing for things that have arrived this week. I have here.
Just rubbing it in now.
Go on, Phil. Full screen yourself.
Yeah.
I'm bigging myself.
Come on, embiggen.
Big
Coffee.
This is good.
Hey.
Coffee.
Does that have your address on it?
No.
Oh no.
But it does have my referral code. So if you want to get £5 coffee credit, you can use the code with Dark Orb.
Right. You know, we were joking about Phil tasting things earlier. Phil, hold that back up.
The hints of.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous.
It is the hint of dark chocolate and candied fruit. I saw that there. That made me laugh.
Yeah. I mean, basically, it's just there is some citrus.
So it tastes like Yule mist then.
Yep.
Probably not actually as nice as Yule mist. So, but yeah, so Stream Deck and Stream Deck? That doesn't sound good. Stream Deck.
That's not the same thing.
It has many functions, apparently.
Dark Orb's OnlyFans.
It's not profitable, unfortunately.
Nobody wants to look at your Dark Orb.
Sorry, Jay just put 1/60th scale in the private chat, which I know is referring to something else, but it was perfectly timed.
It's probably accurate.
How rude.
Yeah, I know. Definitely not 4K. Let's put it that way. High something. Right. Yeah, patch coffee is pretty good. I get the beans, like whole beans, and grind
Nothing
them.
but the beans.
Nothing but the beans. But yeah, that's what's happening for me. We are going to see family on Christmas Day, and then we may or may not. I don't think we really know, unless there's been an update today that I've missed, whether they're going to do some sort of UK lockdown after Christmas.
After.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise. I mean, they've already around here. They've already said that expect to see like over double the amount of cases. After Christmas, just because everybody's getting together and I think
DMs need to be paying attention, right? Because this is perfect foreshadowing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like this is, you ever want to foreshadow your games? This is how you do it. No.
Yeah.
It's we're not going to lock down. All right, maybe we'll lock down. We're going to lock down. It's like
we have our first Christmas alone this year. It's just my wife and me because the kids have finally got the hint to go off to other people. Hurrah! So it's just us two, which is great actually, because we don't
very
have
different.
to, we don't have to stress about it at all, which is wonderful.
Yeah, you can do it at your own pace. And I know your wife is really big into Christmas and really likes to put the effort in.
Christmas. Do you know what Spode is?
Yes.
Do you know what Spode? Yeah, Spode
I do,
is
but
like
others don't.
It's a range of porcelain ware, like cups and plates and bowls and all that stuff, and they do a particular design with a Christmas tree on it, which Sally's extremely big into. And I had to buy, it was only 10 quid because it was a reused from a recycle centre, so it was like cheap. But I've got a massive dresser with all her Spode in it now because she's bought so much of the stuff that the only thing I could do was put it into this massive cabinet. But we have Spode salt and pepper things. We have little soldiers for candles. We have plates. We have Christmas is her thing.
Awesome.
Well, exactly. So being able to do it on her own terms and your own terms, and not have to worry about entertaining anyone other than yourselves.
No,
it's
I'm
going to
really
be
looking forward
really
to it.
relaxing.
Well, and congratulations, Andy, as well, because with kids, the whole goal is to like raise children that can stand to be around other people, right? Like it's that's essentially you've won, you've succeeded.
Hang on.
In raising
my
children,
my stepson is 30 nearly. My daughter is 25. It took a long time. You have to hang on in there.
No, I'm still on my way. Definitely.
Yeah, you get there in the end, but so we got Christmas on our own, which I am actually looking forward to.
Yeah, but, you get to do it all on your own terms. You can watch the TV that you guys want to watch. You can listen to music you want to listen to. You can eat when you want to eat. Enjoy it. We've had a lot of very busy Christmases, and those times when we've actually been able to just do what we want on Christmas Day, it's just made all the difference. I'm sure Neil really respects his quieter Christmases as well.
Well, no, I mean, 2 years ago, or just before COVID anyway, we had 17 people around for Christmas dinner.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
And that was mental. That was completely mental. It wasn't meant to be 17. We sort of absorbed another Christmas dinner that kind of happened and didn't happen, if you see what I mean. So they sort of came along to us. Anyway, we had nowhere to seat these people. It was ridiculous. And to go from that to nothing is actually quite nice. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I wouldn't do 17 again. That was hell.
That's a bit crazy.
I don't want to wish my life away, but there is certainly something I'm looking forward to in later life is taking the opportunity to have one of those Christmas afternoon mouth open sleeps on the couch. The old dudes do, like you have a full lunch.
You mean dudes?
Full open mouth sleep.
Like, I do that anyway. I do that in small.
I want some of that. I mean, at the moment, I'm holding on to my youth enough that I still sort of go upstairs, jump into the bed, and have a snooze. But when I get that full unbridled jolliness of being able to have an open sleep in the afternoon,
there's sort of this trough, right? There's sort of this. When they're very small and they believe in Santa and everything else, which of course exists. Okay, no spoilers here. Santa exists. But when they're that small and Christmas is magical, Christmas is great. And then you go for the lean teen years, as it were, where they really don't want to do anything with Christmas whatsoever. And why are they there? And why are you there? More importantly, bothering them, And then they become young adults, and they suddenly become helpful because they want to be, how do I cook a turkey? Because one day I'm going to have to do this sort of thing for me.
If you're teaching your children how to cook a turkey, then you're really doing a disservice to the world. I hate turkey.
My cooking skills are dreadful, so if I'm teaching them how to cook a turkey, it's not cooked.
Yeah. I'd be like, first you open this can, right?
Well, I was going to say that they just have Pizza Hut and speed dial or something, But exactly. Turkey in a microwave. But and then suddenly they disappear for Christmas because they've gone to their other halves' families, and it's great. Suddenly, you've won. This is the game of life. It's complete.
And then the hardest part is when they go, "Oh, we're going to the other house of Dad. We're going to the other house of Christmas." And you're like, "Oh no,
no!" Because
oh no.
My other half pointed out that there is in this movie of life, there is a mid-credits scene where they come back with the grandchildren. It will happen one day.
That's true.
You've also got that bit to look forward to where they invite you to theirs for Christmas, and you have to pretend that you really want to go. When you want to do stay at home and have Christmas in your pants.
I'm suddenly going to have extreme mobility issues for just that day.
Exactly.
Where I am.
Well, see, the thing is, bro, is I'm the first year that I'm doing that. I'm inviting the in-laws out. We're going out to the pub in 2021 for Christmas. Christmas. So, like, thanks, dude.
What is this thing called pub? I remember them. They sort of disappeared a couple of years ago.
I think there was darts and scampi fries in there. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Hey, I went to a pub I went to a pub as part of a work thing about 3 weeks ago.
Nice,
and genuinely, I have not recovered yet. I still feel like crap. Didn't get COVID, but I felt like absolute rubbish for the last 2 weeks. And it's just
double COVID.
Yeah, exactly. COVID plus.
Was that drinking the Corona there, as it were?
Yeah. No, I had like 2 ciders and then just felt awful for ages. And
someone pointed out to me today that Corona is an anagram of raccoon, and I don't know why that bothers me, but it does.
Well, you got the raccoon. You got the raccoon stuff in Resident Evil as well, haven't you? So
yeah, it was just one of those random thoughts. It was like, okay, and this translates to what?
Have you seen that?
Like
you've seen that TikTok
waiting to happen.
You seen that TikTok where the person was saying that Omicron B is a anagram of no crimbo, and it's like the new conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
this is other batshit conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, it's been really fun. I don't know if we're going to manage to do, because we haven't talked about it, but maybe we'll see if we can squeeze in a New Year's resolutions episode to pick up from the one that we've all forgotten about from last year. That could be quite insane. That was Doug, Zach, Neil, and I. We'll see whether we.
Was I involved in that?
I was involved. I was trying to think. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't even remember the New Year's resolution show that we did for VCG.
I know,
so
right?
I got to go back and listen to it.
Yeah.
What did I say? Because I definitely didn't do it.
I think you said that you were gonna like make roast turkey for everyone, but it was going to be out of a can.
Yeah. Well, I did that. Yeah.
Turkey beer. No, I mean, I vaguely remember that mine had something to do with Nemesis and Cult, so I might actually have done all right, but I'm not 100% sure.
You told me.
Is it on YouTube? Is it
Yeah.
on the YouTube channel?
Yeah, it is on the YouTube channel.
On the Dark Lord.
There
you go.
Yeah.
You got it.
https://youtube.com/c/the Dark Orb. Did you get that?
Catchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very easy.
I get that a lot. Thank you everyone for joining us for our little Christmas celebration. Thank you to everyone in the comments, to Bruce, and I'm not going to bother thanking Jake because he's here. Bruce, Bob, Venberg. Is that everyone? Then of course we've got Andy, Neil, Zach, Doug Claus, Jay, Paul, Yoel. Is that everyone? Who have we missed?
Phil.
Me.
Yes, you.
It's been a great year.
You missed yourself again.
I'm inconsequential.
Inconsequential. Without you, none of this happens.
Yeah, but I'm not sure that's a bad thing. No, it's been great. It's been a really fun year.
On behalf of you viewers, Phil, thanks for the content this year, mate. I know you've done a lot of work to make sure that everyone's had something to watch once a week, and I've watched a few of them. I've been involved in a few of them, and they've always been fun, no matter what side I've been on.
Thanks for the t-shirt.
Appreciate that. Oh yeah, the Wetland Titanic t-shirt, which came about from when I had an autocorrect of Wayland Yutani that went horribly wrong.
Building better boats. There you go.
Exactly. So if you'd like to get your hands on a Wetland Titanic or a Dark Orb t-shirt or any other merchandise, we have Redbubble. That link will be down below once I remember to add it. Of course, I'd love it if you could like this video, help us earn some XP, subscribe if you've enjoyed the content. Please come and talk to us on Discord. The links are below. And tomorrow we've got our episode 4 of Vessen, Christmas at Kulibo Farm. It's a longer episode. It's the penultimate episode. I think we're going to have one episode left. Hopefully we'll get that recorded before the end of the year, because it would be quite nice if we have that for next Friday, but I can't promise that because it's Christmas and things are a little bit crazy right now. But it's a great episode. Yoel is our GM for that. And yeah, that's it. Happy Christmas, everyone.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
And we'll see you all.
And a Happy New Year as well.
And a Happy New Year. Yeah.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart. You're all going to Lamella. Thank you.
I don't think it counts.
Zach just got Phil banned from YouTube.
I recognise the song, but I've heard it before somewhere in tune.
Yeah, I don't recognize the song. The lyrics sound familiar. Oh man. Okay, let's call it. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Have a good Christmas.
Take care, people.
Thanks.
Stay safe.